Hi folks, it's me. I am sick. How much of an episode you're getting is entirely dependent upon when my medication kicks in. Well, I'll explain everything as best I can, and then when the medication kicks in, I'm done. I am going to be sick, I think, for a while, so I need to get this out, because I don't know when I'll be able to get an actual episode out. Well, I will try for this weekend. So, let's start here with the beginning. On Friday morning, I got off work, and I took Beans to the vet, because I needed to get her vaccinated, and scheduled to have her girly bits taken out, so I don't have more cats. So I take her to the vet, and I knew it was going to be expensive, but, boy, getting the vaccines was more than what I thought it was going to be. It was originally, the last time I did it, it was like $150, I think, and this was over $200. And one of the listeners, and I forget who it is, I'm sick, saw that I posted that on Facebook and sent me a little money to help with that. I appreciate that, because when I get her fixed, that's going to be $400. So, I've got the money, but it's going to delay me getting a car a little bit longer. But I got to get her taken care of. They ran tests for feline leukemia, which is the thing the main worry about. She came back negative. She's vaccinated, and she goes January 7th to get her parts taken out. So, anyways, it was a fairly normal day. Take her and then go home, go to bed. Then I get up and I do stuff around the house. And, Friday evening, I'd say I work second shift. So, my noon for me is, 9 o'clock at night, basically, for everybody else. So, anyways, I'm there doing my thing. And I'm like, I'm hungry. Well, I've got this food. Not sure if it's, might be a little out of date, but it might be okay. It's probably okay. And I'm like, well, I've had food poisoning enough times now that, I know how to manage it if I get it, so I'm not incapacitated for days at a time. So, and I also know, hey, if I eat something that's bad, 4 hours, almost to the dot, I start throwing up. So, I know the pattern fairly well now. Anyways, so I go ahead and eat the stuff. And everything seems okay. And 4 hours later, and I couldn't go anywhere to get something to eat. I mean, I could have, but I was tired, it was nasty, it was cold, and the only place I could have gotten anything to eat would be at a gas station, which is garbage food, or Waffle House, which, is Waffle House, but I'm kind of tired of Waffle House, so, right, fuck it. Well, mm. 4 hours, like I said, rolls by. I don't seem sick, so no big deal. And I'm like, well, okay, and then I go to bed, and then at some point I wake up, and I'm like, uh-oh, I'm going to be sick. Now, again, I haven't got the water running back in here yet, so when you're sick, you've got a lot to worry about. Because, you can't just throw up anywhere and know it'll be easy for you to clean when you feel better. You've got to make sure that if you're barfing someplace that, you ain't got to worry about if you can't clean it right away or ever. Well, not ever, but you know what I'm saying. So I got to make sure the trash can, the big kitchen trash can, is handy. But, I'm not really sick. It doesn't last very long. So it's like, it must not have really been all that bad. And I just kind of laid low the rest of the day. Didn't eat much and just sort of, laid in bed, took it easy. Sunday, right? 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm on my way to the laundromat because that's when they open, and you get there at about 6 o'clock, and there's hardly anybody in there. So, and I'm feeling fine, do my laundry, I get a little something to eat. And then I'm like, okay, got all that done. I'm going to bed. And so I go to bed. And all of a sudden, I wake up and I'm like, oh, I'm really sick this time. I mean, I had it bad, so I'm just, it's terrible. And of course, I've got Buddha and beans in my room, and I have, I have to be careful because, when the stomach kicks you, you got just a little bit of time to find where you're going to barf, and the cats don't always get out of your way quick, so you got to be careful that you don't squishinate them. So, and I throw up a few times, and it's like, okay, I don't know what's going on. I must have ate something else bad, or maybe it was worse, and I didn't manage it properly, whatever, and I get back into bed, and I just, I sort of drift in and out of sleep after a while. And then I'm in agony. My stomach is just cramped hard. It's... if you've ever gotten kicked in the balls so hard that your kidneys hurt, that's what this was like. I mean, it was just absolute agony. And I'm laying there, and now all I can think about is back in the mid-90s, the guy I know he was in his 50s. He was an uninsured alcoholic, and he went to the ER one day because he had really bad stomach pains. They admitted him, they ran some tests, and they found out part of his intestine had died. Well, since he didn't have insurance, they weren't going to do a bowel resection and save his life. They just, made him comfortable and let him die. So, and what he had done that killed his, that caused the intestine to die off in all likelihood was he was an alcoholic, and he would often take Pepto-Bismol. Well, Pepto-Bismol has aspirin in it. Well, aspirin irritates your stomach. So if you're irritating your stomach with alcohol, and you're trying to treat that irritation with aspirin, you're just, you're slowly boring a hole in your guts. And that's what happened to him. And I just always remembered that, and I've always been careful not to mix alcohol with any kind of non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug, because they all can tear up your stomach, and of course then there's interactions they can have with your liver with the alcohol. So anyways, but that's running through my head, and I'm laying there in bed, and I'm just in absolute agony, and it's like I got to do something because I can't sleep. I says, it's, the physical condition I may be in, I could figure out some way I could still go to work, because I can't, I'm still in my 90 days. I can't really afford to miss work. So I'm like, I've got, if I get some sleep, then, there's a chance I'll feel better. And even if I'm not 100%, if I've had to sleep, I can still go to work. If I haven't slept, then I can't go to work. And I'm trying to think, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And I'm like, where's my health insurance card? I don't know if I know I've got one, but I don't remember if I, dealt with all the paperwork and put it in my wallet, or if it's still, the paperwork's still piled by on the table by the door where I put a lot of stuff like that when I don't have time to get to it. And it's like I'm in too much pain to be able to sort through all that, through that mail and find it if it's there. And I'm in too much pain to really pay attention, to pay attention to the fine details on the one that might be in my wallet, if that's the right one, or if that's the one from my previous job. And I'm like, and it's Sunday, so there's no, the Doc in the Box clinics are closed. So, I can't go to one of them, and they're all, you got to have insurance before they'll see you. And I'm like, okay. So that means if I go anywhere, I got to go to the emergency room. And then I start thinking, okay, well, I can't make it to the ER on the bike. I'm just too sick. How about an Uber? Well, Ubers are unreliable, and I don't want to barf in somebody's car. So call an ambulance if I have to. Well, that's going to be like $1,000 or $5,000. And then I have the issue. I go to the ER, and assuming I can manage to find the my insurance card, or I can give them enough information that they can sort it out. There's going to be the issue that, they might think I'm a junkie who's pretended to have stomach pain so I can get meds. And, I don't care. There's that. But then there's also the issue, well, the insurance company may decide, we don't think this was an emergency, so we're not paying for it. So I'd be out the whole cost of whatever the emergency room visit was. There goes any hope of me getting a car anytime soon without filing for bankruptcy. So I'm like, I can't do that. I can't. It's just, it's just not worth it. And so on, I'm like, all right, well, who do I know who could get me some drugs? Somebody might, I might know somebody who's got weed or some extra painkillers who'd be willing to give them to me so I could get some sleep, and then I would be able to be, just fine or whatever. And maybe have a chance of going to work on Monday. And the only person I can think of who lives in town is an asshole. And I don't know if he would have had any of the stuff, but I do know that it would have just, he would have shat all over me before he, brought me anything that he might have had. So it's like, well, that idea's out. And then I think, okay, the gas station at the entrance to the trailer park just changed hands a couple of months ago. And I know the previous owners had 2 liters of ginger ale. Well, ginger is an anti-nausea drug. And I know that they've added some new, Latino stuff. Maybe there's something ginger, like a stronger ginger beer or something. That I don't know, but because I knew the only ginger ale they were going to have was Canada Dry, and it's not that great. It needs something like Verner's or a ginger beer, which is stronger, to really have a good effect. And I also thought, hey, the new owners sell CBD. And now I know that, There's all kinds of snake oil pitches about CBD. But and I'm like, but pot is a good anti-nausea drug. Maybe, whatever they leave behind when they make the CBD oil will help my stomach a little bit. And if it's actually true that you can get a buzz off of this stuff, because I've bought it before and never gotten a buzz off of it, then, maybe the buzz will help me out. So I pull myself together as best I can, and I go up to the store, and I'm trying to find the stuff. Now, if you've ever had a migraine, and, if you're one of those people who gets migraines and then has to be in a dark room because the light just drives you insane. Well, that's how it was for me inside that store when I was in pain, right? So, and I'm looking, and they don't have any 2-liter ginger ales, which means I got to buy a 20-ounce bottle, a couple of them. And the only ones they have are the sugar-free kind, so it's like, well, that'll taste like crap, but I don't fucking care. And then I'm looking at the CBD stuff, and, Delta 8, Delta 9 is supposed to be the closest you can possibly get to real pot, so that's what I'm looking for. And they have this thing of gummies, and I can't, it looks like it says Delta 8, Delta 9, but the label, the way that, it's hard to read because they did these weird colors on the label, and it's small type, so, with bright lights and everything, I can't really read it. But they're gummies, and they look like they might be citrus flavored, so even if the shit doesn't do anything, the citrus can sometimes help with an upset stomach. So that's what I get. And I get home, and I just collapse in my room, because I'm so worn out from having to go, the 100 yards, round trip from the trailer to the store that I can't, I'm exhausted. So, and I'm laying there, and I'm looking at the bottle, and I can't really make anything out, and it's a bitch. The name of the company is sort of a generic name, so it's hard to find their website. So, and I'm trying to figure out, well, what's in this stuff exactly, get an idea of the ingredients, and maybe I'll know ahead of time if it actually works or not. Well, I can't figure out their website. It's, I find it, but it's, the labeling, or, it's one of these sites that, it's full of big, beautiful pictures, but finding actual information is a little hard. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm just going to do it as is, and just, I'm not going to worry about it. I'll, when I feel better, I'll worry about it. So, and I'm looking at the bottle, and I go, okay, now, everybody who does edibles that actually have some kind of psychoactive effect always tells the same story. That they eat way too much of this stuff. And they end up regretting it. Now, I can't see any directions or anything like that on the thing, like a suggested dose or anything, because, it's sold as a supplement, not an actual medicine, so they don't have to have that information, and they can be coy about it on there. But anyways, I'm like, fuck it. I'm just going to take one, and then, I'll wait a couple hours, and we'll see how it is. And then I'll decide about taking more after that. Excuse me. So I take the one. I chew it, swallow it, and then I'm just like, well, I'm exhausted. So, and I just basically curl up into a fetal position in the bed. I'm not asleep, I'm not awake, I'm just suffering through my pain and just, hoping that maybe I'll be able to drift off at some point. And I have no idea what time it is. It's dark outside, that's all I know. And it's a Sunday night. Is it, is it early in the afternoon or late in the evening? I have no clue. I know I'm going to have to get some real sleep at some point. So I'm there for I don't know how long, because I just sort of fade in and out of consciousness because of the pain. I just, I'm not unconscious, but, I'm just at a point where I can't think. And I just, pain, and then it'll ease up a bit, and then I can think. So, the stuff eases up and a little bit for a few minutes. And I'm like, fuck it. This doesn't seem to have done anything, so I'm going to eat another one. So I eat another gummy. Of course, you know what this means. About 15 minutes later, it was, oh shit, I'm really fucking stoned. But hey, I'm feeling better. I mean, I still hurt. I hurt bad, but I don't care at this point. I mean, I'm like, I don't fucking care. So, and I am, like, all right, I can get some sleep now. So that's what I do. And I sleep, I guess, for about 2 hours, and then I wake back up. Stomach doesn't hurt anymore, and I'm not really awake. I don't really have enough energy to be up and moving around, but I've got too much energy to go back to sleep. So I sort of, exist in this twilight zone where I'm awake for like 15 minutes out of the hour, and then I'm back asleep for the rest of it. I'm awake again. But one of the things that I notice when I wake back up is emotionally, I feel a lot better than I have, and I don't know how long. I really, really feel good. And like there's this thing in my bedroom that I need to take care of. And I haven't had the motivation to do it. It's not, it's like, yeah, I know I got to do it, but I can't do it right now. Well, I don't know why, but I'm just looking at, at the stuff I got to take care of, and suddenly, oh, here's my motivation, and here's why I'm going to do it now. And I had enough energy. I got up and I did it then, and wow, I feel great about myself. And then, I'm like, I gotta think, I'm gonna have to go to work at some point, so let's try and get some real sleep. So I spent, the rest of the time, one other thing I forgot. And at this point, it's basically, about the time I'd normally go to bed. And I'm like, well, so I need to have an idea about what this stuff's going to be like if I take it when I get off work some days, because, it obviously gets you fucked up. Well, hey, man, that's, and it's actually a better buzz than booze. So some days when I want to come home from work, instead of having a snoot, I'll I'll chew on one of these gummies and mellow out that way, if I'm not too fucked up when it's time for me to go to work. So, anyways, when the alarm finally goes off and I've got to go to work, it's like, well, I didn't get as much sleep as I wanted, but I've got enough that I can go to work. And the problem I have is I've still got a bit of a buzz, not enough to be dangerous, but I'm going to have to watch my step till it wears off. I know it's starting to taper off, and I know, from years of having done pot in the past, I know that there's a good chance I can clear a chunk of my head by having some coffee or something. So, I go to work and I'm feeling pretty good. Now I've got, I'm wall-eyed a little bit, which means it's, feels like one eye's going one way and the other eye's looking the other way, and it's a little hard for me to see some of the stuff. So, but I can bullshit my way through, so when I have a problem and need somebody whose eyes work better than mine at this point, I can get that done. And I was talking to this guy on break and he said over the weekend he had some kind of stomach virus and was really sick. And I'm like, it's like maybe I had that. I don't know. So I get home from work and I'm like, I feel pretty good. Good. Let me. I don't know how long it takes that gummy to kick in. Let me do a nice, precise time thing, so I can get a real good idea. And that's when I was able to read the bottle this time, and it's like, oh, don't take more than one every 6 hours. Oops, I did that. So that's why I was, feeling the effects more than I should have. So it was like, okay, I took my one and I'm gonna time this thing beautifully. And when it kicked in, it was like, whoa, I'm buzzed and I'm very, very fucking tired. So I'm going to bed. Well, I went to bed and I slept about 2 hours, and then I woke up. I was buzzed a little bit, but I had the same thing I had the other day, where it's like, I'm awake for 15, sleep for 45 out of every hour. But I'm feeling fine. And as the day goes by, I lose the buzz, and I go through work and I'm great, except for the fact that about the end of the shift, I'm really fucking tired. I mean, I'm literally, nodding off. Fortunately, it's like 10 minutes till the end of the shift. I can, the bike's good enough. I've ridden it enough times that I don't have to think too hard when I'm riding home. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go home and then I'm going to get to bed, and I'm not going to take any of the, gummies, because I need to get some real sleep, and I want to make sure I do that. Well, so, and I had felt so good the day before, when I got up before I went to work, and it was a little early, and it's like, well, fuck, man, I ain't had Taco Bell and I don't know how long. So I'm going, and it's on the way to work if I go this one direction. So I'm going to go that way, and if Taco Bell's got their dining room open, because a lot of times they shut the dining room down in the evening and it's all drive-through, well, guess what? I can't do that because I'm on a bike. So I'm like, it's going to be, we'll see if they're open, then I'm going to stop in there and, get a Mexican pizza and some stuff, and I'll be happier than pig and shit. So that's what I did, sure enough. And then I went on to work, and, like I said, I'm going to talk to the dude, found out, well, he'd had some kind of stomach virus, and it's like, okay. And this is Tuesday. It's a problem with being on anything other than day shift. It all blends together and gets real weird on you. So I get Tuesday, so I get home and I'm like, I'm not taking one of the gummies. I'm going to just go to sleep. And so I go to sleep, and I wake up and I'm coughing, and I'm like, oh fuck, I don't want to cough too much because I'm coughing hard, and I have in times past coughed so hard that I've thrown up, and I don't want to repeat that experience. So, and my back of my throat is burning from stomach acid, and I'm like, oh, this is not good. So I start chewing antacids, and I start drinking water, trying to get me and my stomach to settle down, and I lay back down, and then I realize, oh my God, I'm gonna be sick. So, fortunately I have the kitchen trash can at the foot of the bed, so it's not hard for me to get to it quickly, and I'm hurling. It's really, really bad, and I'm in a panic sweat now while I'm doing this, because it's like I can't I can't get sick like this. I can't miss work. I got to take one of the gummies, man. I got to take one of the gummies because I got to settle my stomach down. So that's what I did, and I went through the same process I did the day before. You know, when the gummy kicked in, boom, I'm exhausted. I'm going to bed, and then a couple hours later, I'm awake, but you know, I'm not really awake, not really asleep. And I go to work today. I'm feeling pretty good. Stomach's a little tight. Yeah, and I get there, and I noticed that the dude who, you know, said he had the stomach bug over the weekend wasn't there, and he'd left early the other night. So I was like, maybe he's, you know, maybe we both have the same thing, and he was like me, who thought it was over after one day, and then, no, it came back with a vengeance. I don't know. But I do know that thanks to the CBD gummies, I'm not barfing, I don't have bad stomach problems, and I'm emotionally better off. So, yeah, I'm going to be buying these and taking them. Because I feel better. And you know, overall, even when most of it's out of my system and I'm not buzzed. So I'm going to do that because when I feel better, I do more shit around here that I need to do. But anyways, that's why there wasn't an episode this weekend, and that's why you're getting this now, because you know, when I have everything in balance and I'm not feeling sick and I'm not too stoned, I got to be at work. So, and while I'm sure it'd be funny as fuck for some of the stuff to read that thing while stoned, to read Hexenhammer while stoned, I can't do that right you know, because I don't know when I'll be able to process the episode, and I took that gummy, I guess about an hour or so ago, and I sort of feel some effects from it. Nothing really hard and fast, so I'm going to end this now and post it. I don't know what the next episode will be. We'll see how I feel come this weekend. We'll see if Skullbeard's free, and we'll just kind of roll from there. But I will say, yeah, CBD stuff that's at least Delta 8 or Delta 9, and mine's apparently a combination, and don't ask me what the difference between Delta 8 and Delta 9 is, because I don't know. I just know that Delta 9 is like one molecule away from being weed. So, or THC. So, anyways, I will talk to you when I'm feeling better.